Good morning, apprentices. My name is Todd Hansen. I'm a 19-year member of Local 40 till I die. And today we are going to be going over the defibrillator, the AED as we call it. And if you remember anything from this lecture this morning, remember time is of the essence. Why do I say that? First and foremost, let's pretend you're out on a job site and your coworker has been sweating, he's clutching his chest, having a hard time breathing. Remember the last chapter we talked about in our books? He's probably having a heart attack or going into cardiac arrest. If you don't remember what it was, I invite you to open up to page 107 in your manual and follow along with me. And I'm going to walk you through the next step of what to do if you have to go get the AED. Now, what's the first thing you're going to do when you arrive at the scene and see that you have somebody down? First thing you want to do is practice scene safe. If whatever took this person out can take you out as well, then this isn't going to do you a whole lot of good. Take a few moments, just look around, make sure it wasn't carbon monoxide, an electrocution or something like that, make sure you are not in danger as well before you call 911 or go get the AED. If the scene is safe enough for you to proceed, then the next step you're going to do is call 911. Why the importance of that? Because when you call 911, all these instructions we're going to go over today, it might become a fog to you at that moment. But when you get 911 on the phone, they will be able to walk you through any of the steps you may have forgotten. So what I would like to do is, I would take out my phone and lay it down beside me if I'm by myself with just me and the victim. I'm going to put it on speakerphone, I'm going to put it right there just so the 911 operator can talk to me and walk me through the steps because they have it all on their screens there in front of them. Next, if somebody else is available, I'm going to point to them and say, hey, go get the AED, go get the defibrillator as quick as you can. Again, time is of the essence. For every minute that I'm not doing the chest compressions that we talked about in the last chapter, and for every minute that the defibrillator does not arrive on scene, the victim has a 7% less of a chance of making it through this. So, go get the AED. Where's the nearest AED around here? It's right over by the staff lounge, right over there inside the little case that's outside the door. Go grab it. You bring it back here, you drop it down. Well, it's one thing to know what to do, but I also want to quickly show you what it's doing. This right here is a typical AED that you would find, and again, I'm referring to an automated external defibrillator. Well, what's a defibrillator? I've heard that word before. Remember in our last chapter when we talked about cardiac arrest? A normal heart rhythm looks like this. You have the PQRST of a normal heartbeat within a 1 second frame. And what happens? When the person is down for the count like this, they have either gone into VTAC or VFib, which is a window of 5 to 7 minutes. That's all you have to bring this back. Another question is, the ones that we have here, or most ones that are available for public use, will this restart a stopped heart? Correct. The ones that we have for public use will not restart a stopped heart. These go from about 60 joules of electricity up to about 100. The ones in the ambulance that are on their way, they start at 100 and go up to 500. They can jumpstart a heart. This one will not. What this is actually doing is, when you're in VTAC or VFib, remember we showed it right here, this is what your heartbeat looks like now. Your heart on the inside is pumping, but it's not pumping at the right rate where the firing mechanism from the sinoatrial node is on this side. So it's pumping, it's just not moving a lot of blood. So you're not going to feel a pulse, you're not going to feel a heartbeat, but the heart is still moving. Then that's going to get smaller and smaller, and eventually it's going to go into the VFib, and eventually the flatline. And from this space here to this space right here, you have 5 to 7 minutes. Have you ever turned on your cell phone and it's frozen on a screen, or you get lines through it, or something is not working properly, and you wonder, well, what do I do now? What do you do with your cell phone if it's not working properly? You turn it off and try and reboot it again, right? And that's exactly what the AED is doing, is it's rebooting the heart and trying to bring it from this or this back to this. Great. You've gotten it, the AED, you bring it, you set it down. Well, this is expensive, and I'm sure it's a pretty complicated device to use. The fact of the matter is, this is as simple as if you were my age, remember like the Simon, where you hit the different colors in a particular order because there's 4 buttons? This is less complicated than that. This only has 3. Now, I'm not going to turn it on today because I don't want this talking over me as I'm giving instruction here. But the first thing you do when you get it, you place it down beside you, open it up, and you hit the on button. And what it's going to do is it's going to talk you through the steps that I'm about to go through with you, and it's going to spell it out on here just in case it's too noisy and you can't hear everything that's being said. It's going to print it, it's going to spell it out, and it's going to verbally talk you through what your next steps are going to be. What's the first step going to be in a situation like this? It's going to say connect the electrodes. So I'm going to pull the electrodes out, the pads. I'm going to take them, and I'm going to plug them right in here to the top. There's only one way that this can plug in, and pretty much all of them are made simply like this. Actually, a lot of them come with the pads already attached to them. Set it back down, and the next it's going to say attach the pads to the victim. Oh my goodness, I don't remember the class from a couple months ago. Where do I attach the pads again? Well, in case you don't remember where to attach the pads, that's okay. They actually give you a diagram on the pads of where they are supposed to go. Well, is there a particular reason why I want to put it up on the right shoulder and left side? Remember in our last chapter we went over to the sinoatrial node? When it fires the electrical charge through your heart to make your heart beat, it's going across at this diagonal direction like this. So wouldn't you want your pads to fire an electrical charge going the same way as well? So I'm going to put the pad on like this, and this one here, this one here goes on the side, this one goes up here, I'm going to stick it to it. Oh no! It keeps saying attach the pads, attach the pads, attach the pads. Well, they are attached. Why won't you move on to the next step? Why do you think that is? Bingo. I'm not getting a good connection. Is the victim all sweaty? Because if they're all sweaty, these stick-em pads aren't going to work very well. Take a towel, take a t-shirt, wipe them down. Also, too, the t-shirt or whatever shirt they have on, these are not going to stick to that shirt and they are not going to fire through it. The shirt has to be lifted up and moved out of the way. I'm still not getting a good connection. Now what? Maybe, dare I say, the person's either wet or it has a lot of body hair on them. That needs to be removed, and a lot of these in here will actually have a razor in there to remove a lot of that body hair because I need a good connection. Once I have a good connection, it's going to tell me to stand back from the victim and don't touch the victim. Why? You know why? Because this machine is so sensitive. If I have my hand on him like this, it's going to read my heartbeat as well as theirs, and it's going to say, hey Todd, back off. I got to do a reading here. And if it detects that the victim is in VTAC to VFED, it's going to indicate it's going to fire. It's going to fire a charge to them. So at that point, it's going to tell me back off. It's going to give me a warning symbol. And then on this one here, it would tell me to push a shock button. Others will automatically do it if they know that no one else is touching the body. Fire the shock. And it's going to tell me to stand back again because now it's going to do another reading. Is it still in VTAC or VFED? Has the person moved the flat line, or did it go back to a regular heartbeat? Well, if it's still in this area right here, it's going to take 2 minutes to recharge. And during that 2 minutes, do I just stand by idly and wait? Nope, I'm going to go right into the chest compressions that we learned in the last chapter for the CPR. So, and after 2 minutes, it's going to repeat, it's going to fire another charge. At best, if you got that right back here in the moment I needed it, you've got 3 chances before the first person goes into flatline. And then you're going to have to just keep doing chest compressions until medical help arrives. But whatever you do not stop until somebody equal than or greater than your training arrives on the scenes. Now, let's recap what we went over today. First, verify the safety of yourself and the victim that nothing else is going to bring harm to you. Second, time is of the essence. Go get the defibrillator. And number 3, remember the training that we just went through. If you don't remember it all, the 911 operator or the machine will tell you the steps to do. That all being said, let's move on to the evaluations. What's going to happen is you are going to demonstrate to me that you know how to use this machine properly, and upon that completion, you will be receiving a certificate for the AED. Thank you very much for your time.